present here. With a great pleasure and pride, I welcome you all for the celebration of Antarctica Day and wish you all a very happy Antarctica Day. Today we have gathered to honor the breathtaking beauty and significance of Antarctic continent. As we unite in appreciation of this remarkable part of our planet, let us reflect on the importance and invaluable contribution of those who dedicated their life in studying and protecting this precious and distinctive region. I, Dr. Kumar, feel privileged and honored to greet each one of you once again for the today's celebration. आज का यह दिन हमारे अंटार्कटिक महाद्वीप को समझने के लिए हमारे संकल्प को दर्शाता है, जो खोज, अनुसंधान और अंतर्राष्ट्रीय सहयोग के रूप में हमारी प्रतिबद्धता को परिभाषित करता है। आज हमें इस मुकाम को हासिल करने के लिए 40 साल से ऊपर का समय बीत गया। इस दौरान हमने कितनी कठिनाइयां को पार करते हुए आज इस मुकाम पर पहुंचे हैं। As you know, the December 1st is celebrated every year across the world. Antarctica Day, as we have been celebrating every year, but this year is very special for us. Here we also celebrate the 40th anniversary of commissioning of our permanent research station Dakshin Gangotri. आज इस पावन अवसर पर मैं कुछ ये बात कहना चाहूँगा। ये बात अलग है, तुम न बदलो मगर जमाना बदल रहा है। गुलाब पत्थर पे खिल रहे हैं, चिराग आंधियों में जल रहे हैं। यही जुनून, यही ख्वाब है मेरा, वहाँ चिराग जला दूं जहाँ अंधेरा है। भारत की संस्कृति के अनुसार, जैसा कि जानते हैं कि प्रत्येक दिन की जो शुरुआत होती है हम वंदना और आशीर्वाद से करते हैं, तो मैं इस विशेष दिन का शुरुआत के लिए मिस दिव्या, मिस विद्या, मिस गायत्री और मिस अतुल्या को, जो भगवान गणेश की स्तुति लेकर आ रहे हैं, मैं उनको आमंत्रित करना चाहूँगा।
सहस्राय
आपके इस स्तुति ने यहाँ एक सकारात्मक ऊर्जा प्रदान की है. Thank you all for the lovely and divine invocation that has a peaceful environment invoking the significance of this occasion. Now it is my honor to welcome our director, Dr. Thamban Meloth sir, to welcome address for the gathering.
Thank you, Avinash, for that very nice introduction. Respected dignitaries on the audience, pioneers of Indian Antarctic expeditions, dear Antarctic veterans, my dear seniors and colleagues, invitees from our parent ministry, our invitees from the neighboring colleges, principal and the students of various schools and colleges, and my own colleagues and friends in the audience, a very good morning to all of you, and happy Antarctica Day to each one of you. It's the very first time that we have so many luminaries in this audience, and so many veterans of several generations of Indian Antarctic expedition, all in one hall. So I feel very honored. At the same time, I feel a bit nervous to stand in front of you. My sincere thanks to Dr. Gupta, former Secretary of the Department of Ocean Development and the leader of the third Indian Antarctic expedition, who reminded me about a few months back that this year marks the 40th anniversary of building the Dakshin Gangotri station, one of the landmarks in the Indian Antarctic history. And that provided us actually, there are a lot of impetus driven us to do, to gather all possible veterans who could join us to make this very special and remarkable. This is a great moment for NCPOR. So to begin with, I formally welcome Dr. Parmjit Singh Sehra, the first Indian wintered in Antarctica, Dr. Amitava Sengupta, member of first expedition and leader of the 8th expedition, Dr. Prabhu Matondkar, as well as Shri Pathak sir, who were also part of the first expedition. And as we also mark the 40th anniversary of making this the Dakshin Gangotri station, we have with us Dr. Gupta, leader of third expedition, and also his DG team, who made this made it a reality, led by Major General S.S. Sharma, Lieutenant General Abhay Parnaik, Dr. Sengupta, Colonel Parmjit Singh, and Dr. R.K. Singh. We also are fortunate to have with us members of 4th to 10th of Indian Antarctic expeditions. Again, I feel very nervous. So many of these veterans in front of me, led by again Dr. Ravindra, who was also my earlier boss, and who also happened to be the leader of our first Indian expedition to the South Pole. Dr. S. Shivaji, Dr. Ingole, Dr. Sharat Mukherjee, and Dr. Dalgalkar, Dr. Ramesh Kumar, Dr. Lieutenant Colonel Jagdish Kadilkar, Dr. Sri Ajaydar, Dr. NC Pant, Sri Mervyn D'Souza, and our own Sri Javed Bey. I welcome each one of you to this momentous occasion. I'm also happy to welcome some of the family members of these veterans who could find some time from their home affairs to be here among us. Thank you so much for coming. As you are aware, Antarctica Day is an extremely important day for polar explorers. It's on that it celebrates the anniversary of signing the Antarctic Treaty on 1st December 1959, which is a truly landmark treaty in the global history. It ensured that Antarctica remained used only for science and peaceful purposes. And there is no place like Antarctica on Earth where there has never been a war, where the environment is fully protected, and where scientific research is the priority. And of course, most of you are aware, but there are also lots of young friends over here. So I just want to say that India's presence in Antarctica is more than 4 decades old now, and we have currently 2 active stations, wintering stations in Antarctica, called Maitri and Bharati. And we also celebrate, as I said actually, that we are with the making of Dakshin Gangotri station, which is no longer exists now. And of course, the Maitri station is also nearly 35 years old now. And we have a very brand new and very modern, one of the best stations available in Antarctica at the moment, called Bharati at the moment, situated between among them about nearly 3,000 kilometers. And also we have other milestones about the Antarctic expedition. Happens to be we are the first Venus expedition. In fact, Dr. Mukherjee is there representing that. And of course, we had our own first South Pole expedition in 2010. And compared to many institutions like these grand old institutions, NCPOR is a really young institutions. Many of you must be aware about it. Originally started as a small attached office, grown into a National Center for Antarctic and Ocean Research in 2000, around that period. And then it became a full-fledged National Center for Polar and Ocean Research somewhere in a few years back. And we also have activities going on far and wide across the globe. Truly the global institution, I would say that for that matter. We are also an observer to the Arctic Council now. We have research happening in Arctic, Antarctic, Southern Ocean, and including Himalayas now, which is considered to be the 3rd pole. So we also have set up a world-class laboratories in NCPOR, which ensure that our scientific activities are top class, and we also have therefore we could also come up with very high-end scientific outcome, bringing us a lot of international visibility. And this year also we are also supporting during the 43rd Indian Antarctic expedition the 2 neighboring countries. One is Bangladesh and Mauritius to join Indian Antarctic program. So with this nearly 25 years of existence, we stand at a crossroads now. As we expand our footprints, because the last 2 decades have been a very frenetic, growing. We have been growing very fast. We are also spreading ourselves both laterally as well as in both ways. And we will have increasing our footprints to Arctic from this year onwards. We already had a Canadian small expedition to Canadian High Arctic this year. And in 2024 we will be also having a small expeditions to Greenland. We already had taken a step towards that this year, joining the deep ice core drilling in Greenland this year. So next year we are expanding further into northern Greenland station node. So all this actually are basically makes it look very truly global in nature. And more importantly, as we are looking into the poles with a new perspective, because the government, especially the Indian government, has come out with its own policy framework now, which has been long pending. We have an Indian Arctic policy, we have an Indian Antarctic Act now, all happened in 2022. And these are landmark events because this is something the first time we can say that we have clear policies and clear rules and regulations in what we do in polar regions. And we recently published the Indian Antarctic Environment Protection Rules 2023, which is a testimony to the commitment of India to the Antarctic environment and its associated ecosystems. This policy framework will ensure that India will expand its activities across the polar islands as a respected and a responsible polar exploring country. The year 2024 will also be another landmark in Indian Antarctic history because we are hosting the 46th Antarctic Treaty Consultative Meeting in Kochi in May 2024. This is only the 2nd time in history that India is holding ATCM in India, and this provides an immense opportunity for India to showcase our achievements and our future priorities. So once again, I welcome all the dignitaries, special invitees, teachers, students, and my own friends and colleagues from NCPOR. I'm also thanked my colleagues, Dr. Rahul, Mohan and Avinash Kumar, who has been the pillars of organizing all these activities, contacting each one of you. So please let me know if there is anything has been an issue. That's all my problem. Happy Antarctica Day once again. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for beautifully highlighting the significance of Antarctica Day and NCPOR activities. Your warm welcome and insightful remarks have truly enriched this special occasion. And we are deeply appreciative for your leadership and dedication to our shared cause. Now we will be moving for the next program as we continue to understand the significance of Antarctica Day. Let us also understand India's imprint and legacy in Antarctic exploration. I take the opportunity to invite Dr. Rahul Mohan, Group Director, Polar Science and Southern Ocean Division, to shed light in Antarctica, India's enduring presence of Antarctica. Sir, please.
More importance of Antarctica, its resilience, sustainability, and the continuity of science in Antarctica. It's an integral. तो सबसे पहले तो मैं वेटरन्स को खड़े होकर नमन करना चाहूँगा. आप सबका बहुत-बहुत धन्यवाद आने के लिए. Antarctica is a very interesting place because there have been territorial claims, but it doesn't belong to anyone. And one of the gentlemen was in UN doing all this. You can catch him, Dr. Ravindra. He has seen the claims being submitted by sub-Antarctic islands as well. We were talking yesterday. So there are claimant countries, but there is still some free land if you want to claim. That's Mary-Barred land. In case someone who is sitting here among the youngsters and feels tomorrow that you want to claim the Mary-Barred land, please go ahead, but it is pretty tough. So, India and Antarctica, people think is 1981 and beyond. But just after independence, including what I am not referencing today is something written in Vedas, which I am not going to dwell into today. But what I want to emphasize here is just after independence, India raised something at the UN. And that was the question on Antarctica. 1956, just think, we are not even 10 years old of post-independence, and India raises the question of Antarctica. So this question of Antarctica was raised in the 11th session of the UN General Assembly, and largely the peaceful utilization of Antarctica was the thumb. So why it was important? India was very serious when it raised the question of Antarctica in the UN General Assembly, because it didn't want the nuclear powers to test their capability in Antarctica. That was the main ambition of Antarctica. You can think of how peaceful a nation we are. So this was not taken very nicely by the so powerful claimant countries. However, this led to backdoor negotiations for the Antarctic Treaty. And this was very critical because they thought that something like India is jumping and already talking about Antarctica, we have to shun the territorial claims that we are putting in. Incidentally, International Geophysical Year transformed many things. India was not a participant to the polar program, but a big way India participated in IGY. What did it give to India? It gave the modernization of our basic sciences on which we thrive today. It gave us the groundwork for nation building and national prestige, which we all should have on our chest. And one interesting thing is the Indian space program emerged from the IGY. This was very important. This was a milestone, I would say. So what was the biggest takeaway? That IGY, a lot of data was generated. And since they had lost a lot of data during the World War, this was the ideal time when there were committees and subcommittees formed. And they decided to leave Antarctica for peaceful purposes and only for science. Therefore, science is the currency in Antarctica. There is no other currency if you want to do work in Antarctica. So these are pictures of course, it was signed on 1st December 1959, and therefore we are celebrating Antarctica Day. Remember the day, 1st December 1959. And it came into force in 1961 when the first Antarctic Treaty Consultative Meeting was held. So Antarctic Treaty is the best treaty ever and the simplest of treaties ever on this earth. And with problems and issues happening all over the globe, I think this treaty would remind the world what we need to do. There is no place for violence and wars. Antarctica Treaty tells you that. So it is a fostered international cooperation and collaboration. They put aside the territorial claims. It was a big, big win for science and diplomacy together. And of course, as I said, it influenced the Outer Space Treaty of 1967. I'm not going to go through the articles of Antarctic Treaty today. But what I want to emphasize is that Antarctica is for peaceful purposes, freedom for scientific investigation, international cooperation and transparency, no nuclear test, no disposal of nuclear waste. And you can visit, I can visit, others can visit Antarctica. So everybody can visit Antarctica as long as you follow the laws of Antarctica. So 12 countries signed in 1959 the Antarctic Treaty. We are now 56, and we hope that the African Union can join us in the Antarctic Treaty. That is something that is missing largely, except South Africa. So 29 consultative parties which have the voting rights, and 27 non-consultative parties, and there are experts and observers and NGO as well at the treaty meeting. So we are coming to now the footprints and the many first of Antarctica. I may go wrong, but remember that there are many firsts of Antarctica. I have missed many in my slides, but I'll try to share with you. So this is one of the first, among the first, Dr. Giriraj Singh Sirohi. And his paper appeared in Nature, the biological clock at the South Pole. Further, there is a Sirohi Point in Antarctica. That's commendable, isn't it? A place named after a person, Indian person in Antarctica, and that too by US. Another participant around the same time was none other than Lieutenant Ram Charan in 1960, just 2 months post Professor Sirohi. But sadly, he passed away in 1961 in a road accident. Here begins the Indian flag. Here comes the Indian flag and the Indian expeditions. 1981, I missed one slide. 1971-73, a young boy from PRL goes to Soviet Union with the 17th Soviet Antarctic Scientific Expedition, spends 18 months, commendable. And here he is with us, Parmjit Singh, Sehra sahab. Clap, big round of applause for him. What did he do? You can catch him during the lunch and ask him. Yes, 1981 comes the Indian flag and the Indian Antarctic program under the leadership of Dr. S.Z. Qasim, who again we don't have with us anymore on this earth, but his legacy continues, and we have members of the first expedition very much here in audience. So we are proud of you all, sir. Prabhu, Matondkar sahab, Vijay sahab, Pathak sahab, big round of applause to all of us. So it was a very secret mission. It was from the shores of Goa, and that is why you see NCPOR and now NCPOR here in Goa. It was launched in 1981, 6th December, and landed in 9th January 1982. Very secretive mission. And yesterday I was talking to Rasik sir. that why did the Norwegians not inform others? Because Norway was a claimant country and the ship India was using was a Norwegian ship. So there were back channel talks, the committee went and discussed with the Norwegians. Norwegians agreed to it that they will not inform anyone, and that was a big diplomacy again. India acceded to the Antarctic Treaty in 1983, 19th of August. That gave India the opportunity to participate in scientific expeditions, collaborate, and more importantly, contribute to the preservation of unique Antarctic ecosystems. So I'll be going a little faster now, and I've skipped the second expedition, although second expedition did a lot of things, which I'm not again highlighting, and it was a very key people for the second expedition. Sadly, I couldn't get the leader of the second expedition. I spoke to him, but somehow he was unable to come. So here we are, celebrating 40 years of commissioning of Dakshin Gangotri. Dr. Gupta led it, and you can see the team with the then Prime Minister, Srimati Indira Gandhi. 1983, with a total strength of 83 members, you have the members of third expedition, and I think you need to give them a big round of applause. Currently, we operate, as already Dr. Thamban has said, but for the kids, Dakshin Gangotri is now submerged and is now a historical site. As per the Antarctic Treaty, it is numbered as HSM 44. And then we have two operational research bases, Maitri and Bharati. Maitri is an old lady now, and Bharati is pretty young. And can I request the operations team, including Javed sir, to please stand up for a minute for these lovely stations being maintained, at least, so that people know that who looks after these research bases. A big round of applause for them as well. Okay, so we have done 42 expeditions, a lot of achievements. Not the day to sing that, but the glories of these Antarctic veterans whom we want to celebrate. And we invite each year proposals, scientific proposals to participate. In case you have interest, you can contact us. There have been many firsts. But one of the first that I am again mentioning is the first Indian South Pole expedition. The leader is sitting here, members are sitting here. A big round of applause to Rasika Vijay sir and his team. But there are many firsts that I have missed today. One of the first is the Weddell Sea expedition, for which Mukherjee sahab is sitting here, and which Dr. Thamban aptly mentioned. Big round of applause for him. And one more expedition that everyone misses is the special expedition to Larkspur Hills. That is missed by everyone, and I want to put it on record that that expedition gave us the bathymetry and the channel for the new station that we are in. Okay, so these are some pictures. Lovely, isn't it? And some of them are here. Please catch them during the lunch break. As Dr. Thamban said, we are committed to preserving Antarctica, and the Antarctic Act is already passed. We have a huge committee to look after the proposals and to give us permits. So now every person going to Antarctica would need a permit. So you will not be able to go until your proposal is through to that committee and you get a permit to go. And after coming back, you need to submit a report of what you have done to the committee as well. So these are some of the publications which I call imprints of the veterans. But this is not all. This is some. But I want from all of you to write some more books. Mukherjee sahab book is missing in this. Therefore I say some. But there are many more that people have written. I request all of you, all veterans, to please see that you put your thoughts, your experiences for the kids, because you need to leave a legacy for the next generation. Treaty, as Dr. Thamban said, we had the first out-of-turn meeting which gave way to Bharati in 2007, and we are holding the treaty at Kochi in May, and that is equally important. So with these words, I think I've just crossed my time limit. Thank you so much, and thanks for your patience.
That has not only highlighting the India's participation to Antarctica, but also emphasizing the role which India is playing in the formation of Antarctic Treaty in somehow. So it was this day, the 63 years back, when the most successful achievement of the international community was signed. That was the Antarctic Treaty, with the 12 countries signing initially, and today over the 56 nations being part of this. International community have come the long way. Every year, one of the 29 consultative countries get to host the Antarctic Treaty Consultative Meeting, ATCM. I am honored to stand here before here today, assigned with the responsibility to share the announcement that holds the immense significance for the global scientific community. शायद आप में कुछ लोग पहले से ही जानते हैं कि हमारा अनुसंधान केंद्र NCPOR MOUS के सहयोग से 46th Antarctic Treaty Consultative Meeting ATCM and 26th Meeting of Committee for Environmental Protection CEP का आयोजन करेगा। यह प्रतिष्ठात्मक सम्मेलन केरल की सांस्कृतिक और ऐतिहासिक शहर कोच्चि में 20 मई से 30 मई के दौरान होने वाला है, जिसे गॉड्स ओन सिटी के नाम से भी जाना जाता है। In order to create a global identity for the 46th ATCM, NCPOR organized a logo design contest with a broad theme connecting Antarctica to world and India. This contest received diverse nominations and captivating designs from all the corners of India. We would like to appreciate all the participants of this logo contest for their effort. However, we were unable to receive a logo that met our expectation. Although all the logo was very beautiful and they had some good ideas, but we were looking some simplicity of this event. After a careful evaluation, the constituted committee has finalized the logo of the 46th ATCM ending. So to mark this occasion and offer a visual representation of our shared dedication to preserving the Antarctic environment's legacy, it is my honor to invite esteemed Director Dr. Thamban Meloth sir and Dr. Vijay Kumar, Scientist G, Ministry of Earth Sciences, to unveil the much awaited logo for the 46th ATCM. Thank you, sir, for releasing the logo. Very soon we are releasing the ATCM 46 website, and updates will be given through the social media very soon. Privileged to have our esteemed veterans from the first Antarctic expedition member with us today, whose dedication and contributions have been instrumental in shaping the India's Antarctic program. So now I will request all the please join acknowledging the invaluable services and a huge rounds of applause for the all. So may I request the presence of our director, esteemed Antarctic veteran, Dr. Parmjit Singh Sehra, Dr. Amitava, Sengupta, Dr. S.G. Prabhu, Matondkar, and Shri MC Pathak. Sir, please to join on the desk. So we are honored here with our esteemed veterans sitting on the dais. So I will start with Dr. Parmjit Singh Sehra. Already Rahul sir has explained his dedication, how he has been associated with the Antarctic program. Your presence is surely will energize the young Antarcticans and inspiring to explore the icy continent. Dr. Parmjit Singh Sehra, a former scientist at Physical Research Laboratory, Amitava, and a professor at Punjab Agricultural University, is among us the first Indian to do the wintering in the Antarctica continent in 1971 with the Russian research team. He spent over the 18 months in Antarctica as a part of the 17th Soviet Antarctic scientific expedition and studied the upper atmosphere over the Antarctica, which later he has earned his PhD from that. During his stay in Antarctica, Dr. Sehra visited several Antarctic stations managed by other countries and also survived the several life-threatening situations. He has written in his book a lot of challenges he has received during his expedition. तो उस पर मैं कहना चाहता हूँ, मुश्किलों से भाग जाना आसान होता है, मुश्किलों से भाग जाना आसान होता है, हर पहलू जिंदगी का इम्तिहान होता है, डरने वाले को मिलता नहीं जिंदगी में कुछ, लड़ने वालों के कदमों में जहां होता है. With this line, I would like to invite Dr. Parmjit Singh Sehra sir to share his thoughts.
Dobre utro to everybody. Dobre utro in Russian means good morning. Well, normally when I speak, it takes a long time for me to stop. But because the time is not too much, so I'll try to be very brief. Now, I think where to start and where to end, that is because whenever I give a lecture like this, I often speak without any preparation. Now to start from where? We start from India. Where to end? We go to Antarctica and come back to India. My life is really dedicated to Antarctica. I have been just citing this name when I was very young, and I had landed in the Physical Research Laboratory, Ahmedabad, as a research student. What took me to PR Ahmedabad? For that, there is a reason. We have here Antarctic veterans, Dr. Thamban, Meloth is there, and distinguished guests are there. And all the people who are sitting here, they actually belong to me as my Antarctic family members. Now, particularly for the students who have come here to celebrate the 40th anniversary of Dakshin Gangotri and the Antarctic Day, I will say that this day, 1st of December 1959, was declared as an Antarctic Day. It was signed by 12 nations which were active in Antarctic research at that time. Under this treaty, nobody is allowed to misuse Antarctica. Nobody can have any nuclear type of weapon testing there or anything. I got this opportunity being, Professor Vikram Sarabhai. He was the director of our Physical Research Laboratory, Ahmedabad. PRL Ahmedabad is actually the birthplace of ISRO itself, Indian Space Research Organization, and this is also the birthplace of Indian Antarctic Program. I had won a very important scholarship in India. At that time, the number of scientists, they were not many, they were just decreasing. So the government of India, they came up with the idea that we should start a science talent search scheme. That was started in 1964. I was a schoolboy at the time. I competed in that examination that was being organized by the National Council of Educational Research and Training. And that was available only for basic sciences, physics, chemistry, maths, and biology, not for engineering or medical subjects. But now, this is available even for other subjects. I had won that scholarship, and under that scholarship, all my education has been free altogether, right up to the PhD stage. So that is how I landed in PR and Ahmedabad. I was attending a summer school at the Bhava Atomic Research Center in Bombay at that time. And the Physical Research Laboratory, Professor P.R. Pishoti was the dean of students at the time. He had sent some circulars to the youngsters who could come there and join for their PhDs. I had also received an invitation from them. So there was a tough interview, we were selected, I got selected. Then Professor Pishoti, he sent me to Thamban. In Thamban Equatorial Rocket Launching Station for some training for exposure to the space research. You know that going to Antarctica at that time, it was not done just to be first in something or to go and occupy some land as the other nations had already, claimed some territories in Antarctica. The idea in the mind of Dr. Vikram Sarabhai was to look into the space in the upper atmosphere. And I was doing the research in upper atmospheric physics at that time. And in the morning also, Dr. Prabhu, he asked me a very simple question. How did you how you were selected for going to Antarctica? I said, no, I was not selected, I was just packed to Antarctica. The reason for that was, firstly, the Indian Meteorological Department. It was supposed to go there, somebody from there, because they were doing the meteorological work. But at the last minute, in 1971, when the Bangladesh war was liberated, India was having a tough time. A war, full-blown war was going on. At that time, somebody was to go. It was a golden opportunity to go to Antarctica and work there. And the person to be taken, he must be very strong enough to stay there for 1.5 years or even more. So for such a long time, nobody was ready to go. So India Meteorological Department, they had already withdrawn. Nobody was ready to go to Antarctica. On one side, there was war going on. On the other side, the wonderful opportunity was there. So they looked at me, I was there. Professor Pishoti, he took me to Professor Vikram Sarabhai's office there. And we had a small talk. Professor Vikram Sarabhai said that you're a young boy. We are not able to find anybody. Everybody is saying that I can't go there for such a long time. It's not going to be just a small excursion. So what to do? Can you go there? And it's a wonderful opportunity. We want you to go there and see what the Russians are doing there. Because we are having our own rocket station in Thamban. That was the only one rocket station in Antarctica. Even the Americans, which I happened to go, or got an opportunity to go to even the South Pole, Amundsen Scott South Pole Station led by Americans. They don't have any arrangements for launching rockets from Antarctica, even today. Russians were having. So Vikram Sarabhai, he wanted that we should know what is happening there, and that will be a good experience. Now, everybody is, talking about space and all that. Now, this work started long back. Indian Space Research Organization, ISRO, was not existent at that time. When I joined the Technical Research Authority, Ahmedabad, PRL, it was the year 1969. At that time, only ISRO came into form. Before that, it was just a committee for space research, something like that. So an agreement was signed between the Department of Atomic Energy and the Hydrometeorological Service of the USSR that we will, one Indian will go to Antarctica and spend at least 18 months or 1.5 years or more there. So I was packed. Now, the story is very long and the time is very short. And in brief, I went through, they started looking for visas and all this. It's no man's land. You don't need any visa to go to Antarctica. But yes, Australian embassy, deputy commissioner, he said that the one who goes to Antarctica there, he must see me before he goes there, then only we'll give you the Australian visa. I was to get a ship on board the ship at Perth, Port of Fremantle, in Perth. So when I went to Bombay, it was mandatory for me to meet the Deputy High Commissioner of Australian Embassy. He said that it's horrible. How can you go there? Do you have your certificate? Did you undergo any medical examination? Have you got other type of training, acclimatization? I said nothing. That's it. Better not to go back. We were already committed that we have to make use of this opportunity. I, anyway, satisfied him and I was clear. Then I went, boarded the ship, and even aboard the ship, Professor Vijay, the Russian doctors, they came to me very good, adaptability certificate. I showed them the international health certificate. They said, no, it is for developed countries, it is for the comfortable places, it's not for Antarctica. Antarctica is a very, tough. You have to be very tough. Anyway, I signed a personal bond. And on the basis of that personal bond, that if something happens to me, the government of Soviet Union and USSR will not be responsible for that. Only on that condition I was allowed to proceed further. Then the opportunity was wonderful. To cut it short, we landed at Midney, and Midney happens to be a place which is very close to the first Indian station which was built in Antarctica, that is Dakshin Gangotri. I used to, when I went to Antarctica, I used to sometimes walk on the continent, even barefooted, in order to get a feeling, in order to really actually put the Indian footprint in Antarctica. And that went on. Then I had to change over to the ship. From there, we went around the whole of the continent. Because the Russians, they have got their stations all around Antarctica. There is one station. After many, there is Leningrad, and near that station, there is New Zealand station. Then McMurdo Stone American station is there. Then we also had to find out the place for another Russian station there, Ruskaya. And then Antarctic continent. 2 minutes. Only 2 minutes are there. So I have to stop. So the whole of the continent I visited. Many stations, American stations, South Coast station. Then Molodech, Leningrad, Ruskaya, President Great Chile station on the Atlantic Peninsula, Novozaradskaya, Russian station. That is very close to Bharti, hardly 5 kilometers. Then came to Molodech. From there, the rockets were being launched. We had 60 rocket launchings from there. most of the flights were successful. That rocket used to go up a height of about 95 kilometers, taking a payload of about 67 kgs, and we were able to find out the circulation of the upper atmosphere by tracing the trajectory of the descending parachute and shaft. And then came, in 1973 I came back to India. Lots of things happened, and then I focused on doing the research. The first paper when I wrote, that was upper mesospheric wind structure in Antarctica. Upper mesospheric wind circulation in Antarctica. That I took its draft to Mr. P.R. Shorty. And I had written his name first, P.R. Shorty, Parmjit Singh, Sehra. He took a pen from his pocket. He struck off his name from the scientific paper. He said, it is you who have gone there. You have suffered all the hardships. Only your name should be there. All the credit should go to you, not to me. I got disappointed. Normally in scientific papers, you will find, many names there. Then he said, all right. Looking at my face, he said, all right, you can write my name only in the acknowledgement. So all my publications, the first paper from which he had removed his name, it was published in one of the most important and one most reputed journals, that is Nature. The impact factor of Nature is about 70, compared to other journals which have got impact factors from 1 to 5. Second paper was again published in Nature. All my papers which are published in important journals abroad in India, they are single author. Only my name is there. Not that I didn't want to write anybody's name, but I was not allowed by Professor P.R. Shorty. This is ready here in the whole of the world. You go to America, Canada, Australia, anywhere, you will find a long list of the authors on the papers. In my case, only one name is there. And the credit for that doesn't go to me, it goes to my professor. He was so selfless. I really regard him as my godfather. And he really helped me in many ways later on also. So that is the tribute to Antarctica, to Professor Shorty, to everybody. Now, on this day, which is Antarctica Day, I would like to wish everyone happy Antarctica Day to everyone, and also many, many happy returns of the day. Because I would like, this is a real wonderful gathering here. People, very important personalities are here. And this institute has come into existence. This should be celebrated like this every year. This is being celebrated already, but veterans, I think they should also be invited, as long as they are in the school. And my personal request is that all of you should be here, like Antarctic veterans, whenever there is Antarctica Day. With these words, I conclude my
विचारों के लिए हृदय से धन्यवाद देता हूँ. I am sure that everyone must have been enriched and inspired with his experiences. अब मैं अपने डायरेक्टर महोदय डॉक्टर थम्बन मेलोथ सर से अनुरोध करूँगा कि वो आएँ और सेहरा सर का सम्मान. I take the opportunity to introduce Dr. Amitava Sengupta, member of first and second expedition and the former leader of 8th Indian expedition to Antarctica. and a member during the establishment of Indian Antarctic Station Maitri in 88 to 89. Dr. Amitava Sengupta is a distinguished figure in the scientific community with over the 4 decades of expertise in radio and atmosphere physics, electronics, atomic physics, and time and frequency standard. He holds MSc and PhD in physics from the University of Delhi. Dr. Sengupta is known for pioneering the India's first satellite-based standard time broadcast using the INSAT satellite in 90s and developing a groundbreaking cesium fountain, one of the most world accurate primary atomic clock. He is a currently honorary distinguished professor of the Department of Space ISRO and associated with the North Cap University Gurugram as a distinguished research professor. Dr. Sengupta has received the O.P. Bhasin Foundation Award and Science and Technology in 2002 for his outstanding contribution. So I request Dr. Sengupta to please come on the dais and say at least a few words for.
Thank you very much for the very kind introductions. I promise to be extremely brief. Most of the things that you want to know about Antarctica have already been said. Let me first begin by saying that I'm really grateful on behalf, not just on my personal behalf, but on behalf of all my expedition members from the first expedition, second and the 8th expedition for the honor that you're bestowing on us. It's a great recognition, and I really love this opportunity of getting back amongst my close friends and the Antarctic veterans. Now, having said that, as was mentioned, that I was a part of the first Indian Antarctic expedition, and in his speech, Dr. Meloth and Dr. Rahul Mohan have already described how special the first expedition was. It was one of those top secret operations, Operation Gangotri, which was organized in record time. The entire operation, starting from conception to finally us sailing off from Goa on 6th of December, was accomplished in just about little over 4 months. Now, all of us, as you can imagine, this is 42 years ago, and we were very young. I was probably, perhaps something like your age. We were all, Prabhu, me and Pathak, we were all like in late 20s or so, extremely young. And one of the things that is probably not often told, that in such top secret missions, our initial meetings were behind closed doors, and there were big people like the cabinet secretary and the defense secretary and the chief of naval staff. They were addressing us, we were discussing strategic things, and we were not allowed to tell any of this outside. I mean, we felt like being in a James Bond movie. So, I mean, it was very exciting. So all that, and then after these series of meetings in Goa, in Delhi, we had to be trained. So none of us, at least me, I'm from Delhi, I'm born and brought up in Delhi. I had till then never seen a ship, let alone being on a ship. So we had to be acclimatized for the sea. We had to be acclimatized. I've never been to a cold place. I've never seen till then snow. So we had to be acclimatized for snow, etc. So we were packed off and taken to Srinagar, Gulmarg and Machoi Glacier and those places, and we were there for 7 days. And then we were sent to one of the Indian Navy frigates, INS Kiltan, and we were taken around the Bay of Bengal for 7 days and so on. And all that is fine. But the interesting thing was that there were 6 or 7 of us, the mundane scientists, the young guys that were to be part of the expedition, who had to be trained, and the trainers, and because this was top secret, the trainers were not allowed to know what we were going to be trained for. So this was kind of a tricky situation. So the captain of the ship, INS Kiltan, didn't know what we were to be trained for. So he gave us all kinds of training, like shooting a pistol, and they thought we were being trained for some secret, offensive operation or something. Anyway, so all that was very fine. And another thing that you perhaps don't know
I mean, I could go on and on for a long time, but I won't. So another thing that you perhaps don't know is how come we chose the place for our Antarctic station, the place where we are today. We didn't intend to go there in the first place. In the first expedition, we set out from Goa and we headed down south. We touched Mauritius, refueled in Mauritius and reprovisioned. And then initially we were going straight down south, you know, I mean, roughly similar longitude as the Indian Peninsula. So our first attempt at landing was around 40 degrees east or so, near the Japanese station. We went in and we couldn't land. So then we came out and tried around 20 degrees east. We couldn't go in, the pack ice was too dense. Then we came out, started going west again. And by then the youngsters like all of us were getting impatient. We thought, "Arey kya yaar ye aise ghuma ke pura production karke desh wapas le jayenge." So, but finally we were lucky and we got in and we landed and established the station. So all that is history. So, you know, this entire thing is very getting very serious. A lot of facts and figures, etc. So let me just tell you a few things in a light-hearted manner. So because all this was extremely top secret, you know, we were not allowed to tell all this to our family. So later on, after coming back, we were discussing. So one of us, a young IMD guy, we said, "Arey yaar, तूने अपनी बीवी को भी नहीं बताया? हाँ, हमें इतना secret." कहता नहीं बताया. कहता क्यों नहीं बताया? क्यों? यार क्या फायदा उसको बता के वो कहेगी वहाँ से साड़ी ले आना. Anyway, I mean things like this. किसी ने मुझे कहा, you know, we were going through the roaring 40. हाँ, किसी ने मुझे कहा, अरे यार जान निकल रही है, तुम्हें तो अच्छी स्विमिंग आती होगी. मैं दिल्ली से हूँ, मुझे स्विमिंग नहीं आती है. I have never been in water. और in any case मुझे स्विमिंग आने से भी कोई फायदा नहीं है. The fact that the water under me is 4.5 kilometers deep, वो मैं हार्ट अटैक से वैसे ही मर जाऊंगा, स्विम करने का मौका ही नहीं आया. So all such kind of things, you know. And when we came back from Antarctica, so it was almost, I mean, it was such a novel thing, the first expedition, that almost as if we had come back from the moon or something, you know. And we were telling this story to people. So there was this young guy who said, "Sir, वो आप Antarctica गए थे, ये है कहाँ exactly?" मैंने कहा, I thought I'd give him a, you know, three-dimensional visual picture. So I said, देखो ये world है ऐसा, so India is somewhere here. तो हम शिप में करके गए, Antarctica ये नीचे वाली जगह है. तो उसने कहा हाँ समझ में आया. तो कहता सर एक चीज बताओ, वहाँ से गिर जाने का डर नहीं है? So anyway, all such lots of stories, but I won't tell you. But finally coming back, so I went again in the second. And I was the leader of the 8th expedition. That was a great responsibility. I was only 35 years old and had to lead a team of 100 people, so I was a bit nervous, but somehow everything went well. And we set up this permanent station, Maitri. And I'm extremely proud of that station. Not just, as Dr. Rahul Mohan said, it's now an old lady, but survived for 35 years. It's still going very well. So I'm really proud of that station, not just because it was constructed under my leadership, I mean that was part of the game, but because this was a completely indigenous station. Everything in the station, including the washing machines, including the generators, everything was made in India. So I'm really proud of that station. So without taking this story any further, thank you again very much for getting us here, and thank you, and have a great Antarctica Day.
Thank you so much, sir, for your inspirational thought and sharing the mesmerizing memory. Now I may request our director to please come forward and do the honor of Dr. Amitava Sengupta. Dr. S.G. Prabhu Matondkar. participated in first, second and third Indian Antarctic expedition. He is a distinguished oceanographer, has had remarked career in spanning over the 4 decades with the BSc in chemistry, PhD in applied biology. He excelled at the National Institute of Oceanography, NIO, eventually became an emeritus scientist from 2013 to 2018. His expertise in phytoplankton taxonomy, pigment analysis, productivity, and the role of phytoplanktons in the food chain have significantly impacted the climate studies, pollution assessment, and resource management. Actively involved in scientific expedition, Dr. Prabhu Matondkar sir played a pivotal role in first Indian expedition to Antarctica, and he was awarded the National Award for the Antarctic Program in 2022. He has collaborated internationally, working with the Alfred Wegener Institute for Polar and Marine Research in Germany. His leadership in Ocean Color Group and collaboration with institutes such as the Space Application Center Amitava and University of Arjos in Portugal demonstrated the dedication to the advancing oceanographic research. Dr. Prabhu sir have greatly enhanced our understanding on the marine ecosystem, particularly in challenging environment of Indian Ocean and Antarctica. So now I'll request sir to please say a few words.
Good morning to all and happy Antarctic Day to all the veterans. You know that I got very little time, so I will avoid all repetitions. But I will try to tell you 1 or 2 things. First of all, let me thank from the bottom of my heart to the leader of the 3rd expedition who has literally pulled back that expedition on the track, which you will see in his presentation. I want to, express my gratitude and thanks to Major General S.S. Sharma ji, who was our commander. He has taken the challenge of the first wintering. There are certain anxious moments which you will come across when they will make presentation. So I will not tell you many things, but yesterday, as Dr. Gupta ji has told, that when 3rd expedition was to be completed, first wintering was to be handed over to us, there were many dramatic things were happening on the scale of 1 or 2 days. Weather was very bad and nobody was knowing really what is going to happen next. Yesterday he had narrated a little bit, but we were lucky enough that we got leadership, political as well as scientific leadership, who has made it possible and we could make the first wintering. I always cherish the memories of the first wintering because it was a very challenging task. Nobody was knowing what next, including whether wintering is going to happen or not. And then we stayed there. I want to tell you 2 things. I have learned one very important thing from Dr. Gupta ji. He told me that, everything is possible. You should learn how to make small teams and work for science. To the core, he is a very good scientist, everybody knows. In that hurry and all busy schedule also, he used to spare some time and advise how to work and what to do and that type of things. So we are always thankful to him. Dr. Sharma, our Major General Sharma ji, has taught me very important lesson. These are all benefit for the younger generation I am just narrating. He told me that there will be some differences, small and small, but you should learn one army technique, military technique. Square it up. Whatever differences are there, square it up, go ahead. We have done it. And to your surprise, let me tell you that we started winterization and we finished winterization after 1 year. I thought that as if one night or one day we have spent. To that extent, 12 members people stayed in a building as a family. All credit goes to the patience of the Sharma ji, who was our commander. He is here. So he is also going to talk to you about many things. So I will not tell you many anxious moments because you will come across many things. I will speak few words about the science part of it. There are certain references. Dr. Sehra ji has told you that he has published in Nature. I also got opportunity finally to publish my papers in Nature. So I know how much difficulty it is. So the very important thing is that these all programs which are being supported by our political leadership, there's a lot of support is given of the man, machine, money and everything. So finally we should know that we have to give back to this country something, whether it is a science, whether it is an application or our understanding towards the global science of this country. Antarctica is an excellent laboratory. Let me tell you with my experience. You can generate some insight. You don't require a lot of sophistication. With primitive type of simple techniques also you can generate different type of sciences in Antarctica. Antarctica is a real multidisciplinary opportunity where you can do whatever discipline you are interested. You can do photography, you can do medicine, you can do architecture, or you can do environment, or you can go as a writer and write a book. So Antarctica is a biggest opportunity, and if you avail that, once in a life, one Antarctica can fetch you a lot of insights. Now my experience is that Antarctic summer is a beautiful, but real Antarctic feeling comes when you stay in winter. And when the winter like us, where everything was uncertain, there is a lot of beauty in that. And we have weathered. So that is what I want to tell. So before completion my things, I want to tell you that in my career, whatever I could do, because of the advice of some of the leaders who were insisting that finally we should do science. And we have always remembered that we should do science. So that was a very important thing. So let me tell you one thing. I got opportunity to visit and revisit on the same track, same place. So whatever insight I could develop. Finally, it is converted into a very good interdisciplinary work, which finally National Science Foundation and India, many institutions, as Dr. Gupta ji has told, I could make very good team. And many institutions in India and abroad and in USA, we had a Indo-US program for 10 years, excellent publications. That program is still accepted as a Arabian Sea climate change program by the American National Science Foundation, and they have just kept for namesake that I can avail some data, interpret it or whatever I need. But that type of result came, and I should be always thankful to Gupta ji that once he saw my presentation and what he told, I am telling you, still I remember that word. Prabhu, आपका ये नया अवतार मुझे बहुत पसंद है. With these few words, I tell you that anybody younger generation or young person interested to talk to me about science, we are available either an email or on WhatsApp or on telephone. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your kind word, and I request our director to please facilitate. So our next male veteran sitting here is Shri MC Pathak, participated in the first Antarctic expedition. He is a distinguished veteran from the 39 years of service at NIO. He is a titan in marine exploration. His illustrious journey spanned diverse expertise from the marine technology diploma in various countries to membership in the prestigious professional body. He has published 55 research papers and 310 industrial projects. He is a leader. Leaving his incredible remarks in the offshore investigations, marine exploration, oil field development, and environmental impact assessment studies as a passionate researcher and expeditioner. Pathak's accomplishments including collecting the bathymetric data from Indian shore to Antarctica, mapping freshwater lake, and leading geotechnic survey. His span of his work in the high altitude Himalayan lakes to Antarctic continent, demonstrating his significant contribution in marine archaeology and sea level rise impactful R&D project. So I'll request sir to please say a few words, and I request to be shorter because we are behind the time.
It is my gratitude to my elders, and I pay my tribute to Dr. Qasim and Dr. H.N. Siddiqui. Because of their leadership, we could lay the foundation of the Antarctic continent, the Indian presence in Antarctic continent. We were, when as Dr. Sengupta has already told, that we were heading to the Japanese station, but the packed ice, our ship got stuck up. And then from there we diverted back and entered into the Polynia and reached to this station where we established the Dakshin Gangotri. 2-3 incidents came to my mind. That one was when we landed, we put up our tents, and at the midnight when we were asleep, and just I saw the satellite position, we were drifting away. So 2-3 positions we took, but still we were drifting away. Then we contacted the ship, and the leadership matters. Dr. Siddiqui Saab came with the helicopter and rescued us from there, and with all our tent and other things we went to further land side, because the whole area where we were camping, it became the iceberg. Second thing what has happened, that when you are in the summer season in the Antarctica, so mostly the sun is 24 hours, and I got the opportunity to see the midnight sun, and it's a lifetime experience. Anyhow, everything is shared, and there is nothing more for me to add to that, but only thing I am proud that after 42 years, when I joined the veterans group yesterday here, I saw that where the Antarctica expedition, which led in 1981, and now today, how much advancement is being done and how much research is gone into it. I thank you all that we have in any way contributed, and we got the opportunity to give something back to the motherland, and I got that opportunity to give back to the motherland, and I am thankful to the organizers. At least after 42 years I could see all the veterans. We were hearing their names, we were, whenever Antarctica expedition going and coming back, but this is the first opportunity they have given, that we all gathered here, and it was a very good idea. And I think this idea, whatever is now the sheets are shown, it should continue to do that, because it inspires the person. And to be very frank with you, after coming here, joining the veteran group yesterday, I had gone to the flashback, and I became around 40 years young. So finally, I am thankful and very grateful to the organizers. They have given me the opportunity to join this program, and I request them to continue this so that in future we can meet again our veterans. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your thought-provoking remarks. May I now request our director to please come forward and honor the Pathak sir. I request all the veterans to please take your seat and we will be having the movie play. Unexplored frontier. The mission was secret. Code names open Operation Gangotri. Only a few handful people knew about the expedition, owing to the uncertainty and challenge not to return back. The expedition was led by Dr. S.J. Kasim on the 9th January 1982. They hosted our tricolor in the icy continent of Antarctica, presenting the past. A blockbuster has been made the history today. With this, a short film on the first Antarctic expedition to Antarctica, courtesy of the film Vision, Destination Antarctica. So now we will be playing this movie, please. Due to the success of the first and second expedition, a historic decision was made to establish a permanent research station in Antarctica. This station would not only provide the shelter for our expeditionary members from the harsh environment, but it's meet the scientific and logistic needs. A team members of 83 people, comprising the scientists, engineers, and officers from Army, Navy, Air Force, boarded the expedition vessels MS Finn Polaris from the Marma Goa port, led by none other than the dynamic leader, geophysicist Dr. Gupta sir. Their task was to establish the India's first permanent research station, Dakshin Gangotri, in one austral summer. Expedition was full of challenges. It always a source of pride for the India and inspiration for all of us to how to manage, build the station in a such sort of the time. जैसा कि उनका जज्बा था, मुट्ठी में भरकर सपने लेकर, भरकर जेबों में आशाएं, दिल में है अरमान यही, कुछ कर जाएं, सूरज सा तेज नहीं मुझ में, दीपक सा जलता देखोगे, सूरज सा तेज नहीं मुझ में, दीपक सा जलता देखोगे, अपनी हद रोशन करने के लिए तुम मुझको कब तक रोकोगे, मैं उस माटी का वृक्ष नहीं जिसको नदियों ने सींचा है, बंजर माटी में पलकर मैंने मृत्यु से जीवन खींचा है, मैं पत्थर पर लिखी इबादत हूँ, शीशे से कब तक तोड़ोगे, मैं पत्थर पर लिखी इबादत हूँ, शीशे से कब तक तोड़ोगे, मिटने वाला नाम नहीं, तुम मुझको कब तक रोकोगे. With this word, I'll request Dr. Rahul Mohan to kindly take this further proceedings.